Charlani here. Thank you so much for tuning in to Charlani TV. In this video, I am going to show you how I decorate our Christmas tree. This is like one of my favorite things to decorate throughout the whole holiday season. It gives me joy every single day that I see it and I get to walk past it. All the things. So we have everything set up on the floor, ready for me to tackle. A lot of what we have are like sticks that we put in here, and it's a lot of fun to decorate. So what I've done is our tree is here, but I actually took off the top two pieces, and what I do is I have put it right here in our bar stool, upside down. Because what I'm going to do is I am going to decorate the very top, and I use picks, and we have a big star that we're gonna get up there, and I like to secure it really, really well. And instead of balancing on a ladder, I am just going to decorate it here. It's just the first couple of feet. So Rob will help me put that back up onto the tree, and then we'll finish decorating the rest. So I'm putting the tree together, and I actually have ribbon that I had used from a gift box that we had received, and I just wrote like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, base, top. Makes it so much easier to put back together. Okay, so last year, I put all of our lights in baggies. This is a single strand, and before I package them up to store, I always make sure that all of the lights work. So I plug them in, and then what I already done when I pulled everything out of the closet to kind of like prep to start decorating, I plugged all of these in to make sure that they still worked. So here's the story behind why I do this and why I have these, yet also have a pre-lit tree. A few years after we got this bad boy, the lights started to go out. Warranty, we didn't have warranty on it anymore, so we just kind of had to deal with it. And for my decorator's heart, it was a struggle, because some of the parts of our tree, the lights would go out, and that just super sucks. So what we do is I got new lights for this year, because I left myself a little note that said, hey, you got to replace these lights. And so I got some new lights to refill what went out last year. But if you look here, you can actually see that the pre-lit lights, their lights are still on here. We tried to take them off, and it was not an easy task at all. We couldn't even pay somebody to do it. Like we thought we would take it back to Decorator's Warehouse, and they don't do it anymore. It's that time consuming. So we actually just leave the lights right on it. We put all of our ornaments up. We have so many ornaments on here that you cannot even tell that these are on here. You can't even see them. You'll see. So I've got my box of lights. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the lights on. Those are the replacements for what I had last year. We're gonna go ahead and do the lights, then we do the ribbon, then we do the ornaments. And we have the gun that replaces lights. We have a whole bazillion lights in here. So we tried to fix this ourselves, and like I said, the amount of time it was taking, like hours. So it wasn't worth it. Not worth it. I'll just restring it myself, and we'll have beautiful lights every year, all year long. I store all of our lights in baggies with the plug out, so that I can plug them in and just double check them before I actually put them on the tree. And last year, before I put them away, I actually gave myself a little note that said that I needed to get 6 strands. So I went ahead and ran over to Target to get some replacements, and they were out. Wondershop they're inexpensive and just good enough, but they didn't have any, so I went ahead and I got these. They were a little more pricey, but who knows? Maybe they'll last a little bit longer for us. So this star, I actually got years and years and years ago. I got it at Pier 1, and I got it as it's a gift box, believe it or not. And it just absolutely works for our tree. So whenever I put this up, I have to be really, really careful with it because it's actually cardboard. So we'll have to see how much longer this is gonna last me. We've had it for, I wanna say, I don't know, 10 years, maybe a little bit longer than 10 years. But this is what it looks like. And see how it has holes in it? When I put this right up on top of the tree, it actually, the light goes through it, which makes it look super, super cool. So this tree is enormous. So it needed a really big star, I felt like. And this inexpensive gift box worked perfectly. So this is the star for the top of our tree. So I'll put this on and then we just kind of decorate around it. So I did walk around the house like looking for something to put this in. I just needed something sturdy to hold it upright while I decorated just the first 2 feet of this tree. So much safer than hanging over the railing or balancing on a ladder and trying to secure the star, and it only is the first few feet, so I figured this was the best way to do it. And then we'll just go ahead and get it put back on top of the tree. Rob will have to help me with that because it needs to be a very steady hand. So I am going to pick up and grab all of the sticks that I put onto the tree, and the lights are on. Now all I do is just I place the star. I actually took it off and put it back on because I didn't like the way it was looking. But then I just put the sticks around it, got it back up there, got it secured, put the sticks around it, and absolutely loved the way it turned out. So this is what we've got. And you can see that I've kind of just tucked things in. I've got some of these are branches that are wrapped around, and that's kind of securing and holding everything in place. And then I also used some of these ties here to get everything in there so it doesn't fall over. Now, I will say that this is not exactly super, super sturdy, but we're gonna have to be very careful when we go to place it back on the tree. But for the most part, it's pretty good, and I'm loving the way that this has turned out. It's gorgeous. And right here, I love magnolias. These are a big part of my tree. And this tree is just, I want to say whimsical, but it's also very modern. It's also very eclectic. As you'll see, it's going to have all kinds of different ornaments on it. So this is what we've got so far for the topper, and we will get this back on the tree, and then we'll get the lights on the rest of the tree, and then we will finish decorating. All right, we've got it up there. So looks amazing. So now I can just use my step stool, which is right here. And we've got lots of flowers and things like that in here. And we will go ahead and just start decorating all the things. So all of those holes that you see up there, those will be covered with like the bigger round ornaments, things like that. But the majority of like the pretty stuff is already up there. Absolutely love how it turned out. You can kind of see from afar that it's a really big tree. So it needed a really big star. And we always have faced it to where it faces our living room. I've always just had it that way. We've talked about so many times, should we face it the door, or should we just go ahead and face it in the living room? And we always choose living room, so. All right, so now we've got to put the lights on. I got to fluff it up, put the lights on, and then all the decorations are going up. All the things. All right, here we go. This is day 2. So I actually, last night we did the top, which absolutely love how that came out. But I am now going to put the lights on, and then we're gonna put on the ribbon, and then we get the ornaments on. So it's a lot easier to film this for you guys and show you guys what I do in the daylight. I feel like it records a lot better. So let's go ahead and get to it. I've already double checked that all of our lights work. So I connect lights to the top. I start from the top and I work my way down. That way the final plug is out down at the bottom towards the outlet. So I just work my way around. I drape and I place the lights inside. I do not wrap them around each of the branches. That's just not the way I do it. Makes it so much easier when you take the lights off. Rob actually decorated our tree he placed the lights on the tree one year and wrapped them around every branch. It was such a pain to try and take those lights off. Lights are on. It looks like a shambly mess, but that's gonna look beautiful. So now it's time to get the ribbon on. So I store the ribbon in its own container, and you can kind of see that I actually have tissue paper in here separating each of the bundles, and I actually keep the bundles together. But if you notice, like the tops of each of the ribbon has like those little pointies, well, they totally stick to each other. So I separate it with the tissue paper like that, so that when I pull it out, just like I did here, it comes out super easily and it doesn't fray on the other bundles. Last year, when I took this off the tree, I was really careful, and I just rolled everything up, and you can see how these kind of like stick to each other. So I just carefully rolled it up the same way I took it off the tree. And what I'll do is go in and I just start at the very top and I kind of keep everything together. And this is the ribbon, the way that the ribbon will look when it is on the actual tree. So I love the way ribbons look. I think it makes it look really full, and it just gives like dimension to your tree. So that's why I do it. I got both of these at Hobby Lobby. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. This is my favorite part. So I just bunch up the end and I get up to the very top, and I find one of the branches that I can wrap around the very end. And it doesn't look really pretty, the first one that you put in there, but it's okay because I'll end up putting a big bow there or a big ornament there. And then I just kind of poof it out and then attach it to the next branch and then just work my way down. So you can see that I just kind of like bubble it up, and then I crunch it like this to keep these together. And then I go inside a bit and I just find one of those smaller branches, and then I hook it around. And I don't hook it around too much, just enough to hold it in place and make sure that it's nice and secure in there. And there's no rhyme or reason for how I'm doing this. I have 3 bundles, so I just kind of take like a third of the tree, and that's kind of how I do it. I had some extra ribbon, so I ended up going back in, and I had like a 3 or 4 foot section, and I did that a couple of times just kind of in between the other 3 longer strands. And to be really honest, it seemed a lot easier to do it in a smaller section. So might keep that in mind next year for sure when I start putting the ribbon onto this tree. We might cut them in half and just do little sections. And then whatever is left over down at the bottom, I just roll up, tuck in, and it is good to go. The ribbon is on, and I love it. So you can use any kind of ribbon. I suggest always using 2. I think it gives it that depth and dimension that ribbon should give your tree, but I just absolutely love the way it looks. now it's time to put the ornaments on. I always start with our larger ornaments and I place the flowers and the ribbon, and then I go in with the smaller personal kids ornaments. Those go in last. So I start with placing in the flowers. I grab the larger ornaments, and I don't, again, have any strategy with this. I just kind of place where I find holes and what I think looks good where. I obviously try to keep the same colors a little bit spread apart, but it kind of is a hodgepodge tree and it just works for me that way. So I got these ornaments on clearance last year after Christmas. It's the best time to get your Christmas decorations for sure if you want to save some money, because everything is so discounted. So these are our personal family ornaments. I like to spread them on our table so that I can see what I am grabbing, and I'm a little bit more strategic in how I place these, kind of like surprises throughout the tree. Okay, my tree skirt is not a tree skirt. It's actually 3 round tablecloths, and I got them at TJ Maxx several years ago because I needed to replace our tree skirt. And this worked really well. We've used it for years and I love the way it looks. All right, here we go. All decorated. I absolutely love how this turned out. Well, it pretty much turns out like this every year. But all the ornaments, I feel like we have such a hodgepodge kind of a tree. We've got all kinds of different colors in here. We've got random ornaments. We've got kids ornaments, things that they've made, but it just works. It just works. So absolutely love it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to Charlonnie TV, we would love it if you did. Thanks for watching.